Speaking moistly, keep 2 meters apart. Speaking moistly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speaking Moistly. That was expert. If we tried to coordinate that, I don't know that we could do it again. It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks. We've got some new technology. I hope it works. My fingers are crossed. Greg is with me as usual on a Tuesday. My friend, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Fighting to keep my sanity, enjoying the weather, having a nice coffee, and wishing that I was dreaming. How are you?
Did I miss an opportunity to call you my brother and just like totally? So you've been watching the news. You've been watching this disastrous liberal train wreck that is an election. With a little bit of glee, because I don't like Justin Trudeau. But the Band of Brothers Taliban thing, that's funny. That's pretty good. There's a Band of Brothers meme here with Marianne Monsef and Justin Trudeau and a bunch of upstanding Afghani leaders.
Yeah, this is hilarious. I had not seen this one, but
comedy.
There's so much to say about this situation. But sorry, you were saying?
I like when a meme just hits it right on the head. I like when it's like this one. This is a good one. Another example of this is a meme in real life. Just somebody has taken Justin Trudeau's liberal Team Trudeau, and made him into a clown, and it's quite expert with the polka dots and the eye makeup and stuff. Clown makeup.
Oh, that's not an actual photo. Someone altered that.
It's real life. I thought, yeah, right.
I'm sorry. Oh, I thought that was actually what he looked like. Oh, my bad.
I thought he was going for pensive.
By the way, hey, guys, we don't endorse this. Okay.
Oh no, this
don't
is illegal.
Vandalize signs. It's illegal.
Yep.
Don't break the law.
No. I was driving.
That being said,
yeah,
it's very artistic.
It is. Inspired, one would say, right? Like this could be an image of Trudeau debating what he was going to do, call an election or deal with the international crisis that was unfolding in Afghanistan, right? He's standing at the window and the photographer's like, click, and he's like, you know what? Put it on the campaign poster. Do it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. It's like you're barging into the PMO's office. It's like, we need to get our interpreters, our people out of Afghanistan. We need to mandate vaccines. We must go. Actually, I don't care what you just said at all.
Good segue.
What did you say?
Good segue. This is video of Justin Trudeau in May, and I've played this before, but like this is how disastrous this campaign is treating Justin Trudeau, and that's good news. It's tempered good news. But anyway, here's the quick clip. It's 14 seconds. It's Justin Trudeau contradicting himself, saying we're not a country that does vaccine passports, except for we are a country that does vaccine passports. Here we go. So, there's that with Justin Trudeau saying, no, we're not a country that makes that mandatory, except that we are. Have you noticed the protesters being blamed for being angry at Justin Trudeau? Have you noticed that in the in the media?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, you're talking about how he's been heckled pretty well everywhere he goes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and I think you're right. The most disgusting part is not just the journalists who are funded by the Trudeau regime who are defending him and saying, "Oh, can you I think the headline Toronto Star was protesters targeting Trudeau."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like really these cautionary statements of and then of course all these journalists on Twitter gushing and they're not even being polite about they're just being so mean to Trudeau. And then even Aaron O'Toole, the leader of the opposition, what did he say? If you go to these protests, if you protest my opposition, then you don't support me. What the?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. It really feels like controlled opposition. Really feels like, Trudeau is a train wreck, but Aaron O'Toole is doing like everything in his power to make him not want to vote for you.
Puppy Mills.
Oh my God.
Puppy Mills. It's
Case in point.
Yeah. There's a lot wrong with what Aaron O'Toole is leveraging towards Trudeau. There's a lot wrong with the rhetoric around. So just to get back to what you were saying, Trudeau is saying, and the press are kind of propagating this, that we're going to persevere because these alt-right people, these these un-Canadian people are coming out to protest, and that's not really what people feel, and this is important. But the protesters are drowning out the supporters. The supporters mainly are like the staff and stuff, and it's their job to clap. They have to clap because that's who signs the paycheck and stuff. So it's interesting to watch this unfold, and instead of actually dealing with the issues that the protesters are bringing forward, which he can't really deal with that, because if he dealt with any of that, he would have to admit error, and that's not what Justin Trudeau does. So he just ignores them and demonizes them, and gets the press to do exactly the same. And it is jarring, because it used to be the politicians held accountable, and now the press is holding the protesters accountable for protesting. What? Right? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, we've been coached by the media and the political establishment, especially over the past 2 years, but more or less over the past 4 to 6 years, to never hold the people in power accountable ever. Yeah. And we're seeing this, especially with Biden right now in Afghanistan.
He's a nightmare.
Total mess, totally dropped the ball, 20 years in the making, just a total storm of feces. And like, what's the messaging? Well, it's happening, and if it's anyone's fault, it's probably Trump, you know what I mean? And it's like, what about the person in power? What about the people in power? What about the people making these actions? What about the people, making these decisions? The people who have power, let's hold them accountable. And in Canada, it's gotten so bad.
If you're a Marine, you can't say that. You can't say, like, those people in power, we need to have. Did you see who's that? The lieutenant colonel he went viral because of a rant on Twitter or something like that,
for stating the obvious.
Yeah, stating that Biden, what he had done in Afghanistan had been bad, and he wanted accountability, and all he wanted was people to say that, like, people should be held accountable, and then he'd fold back in. But they instead have said,
even like recognizing that they made a huge mistake or anything. But instead, they don't even give us that amount of respect or like decency. It's just
if they said they made a mistake, then they don't fix the mistake. They just get the anger of the public, of the backlash, right? So instead deny. If they made a mistake, and they wanted out of said mistake, then the only path out is, we beat the boogeyman. We beat it. It's gone. Yay. Right. Oh, we'll be cautious for another 6 months, but we beat it. You can't, the way out is not, we've made a terrible error and your business is closed because the government screwed up. Like, that's not what the government's going to say, right? It's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, I wish, but don't hold your breath. Right. So it's pretty crazy. Puppy mills, Aaron O'Toole, instead of dealing with the very meaty federal part of what's going on, is dealing with puppy mills. And my thought process on this is that in order to beat hair and socks, puppies, right? It's simple. He's going after a voting block that is the same voting block as the hair and socks group. And what beats hair and socks? Puppies, every time. So he's going to ban puppy mills. I don't disagree with banning puppy mills. I disagree with, like, wet noodling a campaign that should be a slam dunk, right? Like, if Michael Jordan is, like, tied one arm behind his back and, like, has to hop, right? Like, it's not like, and he's doing, Aaron O'Toole in this analogy is hamstringing himself, right? He's tying himself up.
I mean, I don't know, Mark, have you ever seen what these puppy mills do? They lock dogs inside. They don't let them go outside. They track their behavior everywhere they go. Sometimes they even give them these injections. Yeah. It's so inhumane. They force them to get these injections, and sometimes the injections are not good.
What happens to the unvaccinated puppies? What happens to the unvaccinated puppies?
Oh my God! But all these human rights and freedom of speech. No, it's the puppies, guys. I don't care about Canadian
puppy mills.
I care about Canadian puppies. Focus on the puppies. Okay?
They'll have a nice place to run, right?
Yeah. It's what's so absurd about the puppy mill thing is genuinely asking you, Mark, when was the last time you thought about this?
Honestly, my mom's dog just died. And so I sent her a puppy from, I know, right? Seriously. And I sent her a puppy from Kijiji that was raised by a certain group of people who are known for their puppy mills. and I didn't know this. So I sent this one. I said, "Oh, that's a good price," and all this other stuff. And my mom sent me back 2 words. Do you know those 2 words? Puppy mill. And I was like, "What?" And then she said, "Oh yeah," she sent me a couple of articles, and I was like, "Huh,
Okay,
that's interesting." So let me
rephrase that question.
Okay, carry on.
I'll rephrase the question.
Puppy
when
mill.
was the last time you thought about puppy mills? When's the last time you thought about puppy mills in the context of political campaigns or politics at all?
Fair enough. Yeah, no. I certainly didn't. This campaign, I didn't think, you know what, it's time to get that puppy mill issue dealt with. We've been, as Canadians, this has been far too long, right? We've been disappointed since the 80s with this puppy mill thing. It's been a chain around our necks, right? It's not like abortion.
I mean, I don't know.
Zing, right? You've got to deal with the baby puppies. The baby humans, says Aaron O'Toole. The puppy mill.
Yeah, exactly. And okay, did you see? I don't know if it's been so long since we chatted, but did you see the ad that came out by Unifor, the union, that was basically humiliating the conservatives as like this old truck?
Yeah,
same old policies, blah blah. Everything like Trudeau's base. Everything that Aaron O'Toole does just further humiliates conservatives in the eyes of Trudeau's base, in my opinion. And this is a good example of that. Like puppy mills. Oh, you don't even care about like people, really,
right?
Because like that's the whole narrative, right? Conservatives don't care about people, and then it's like puppy mills. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like everything Aaron O'Toole does plays into pushing the Overton window leftward.
Yes,
and
I agree with you.
And like, watering down and undermining any sort of real resistance to the Trudeau regime. Should we just be calling it the Canadian regime at this point? Because I really just feel like Aaron O'Toole is part of the same enemy at this point.
Yeah.
And we don't need to get into it because it's a big topic, but it's like, literally what is the difference between the two? They're going to make us not go into debt as quickly. What are the other ones? Is there anything?
I'm waiting for Aaron O'Toole to come on board with the free speech restrictions because, we got to keep you safe, bro. Right, for your safety, comrade.
Right. I don't know if he's mentioned Bill C-36.
No. Yeah. Right. Like a lot of the really important stuff isn't being tackled by the leaders. Same in Alberta.
Actually, on top of that, now that I think of it, Michelle Rempel.
Oh yeah, she's awful.
She had an oh yeah, she's awful. She had an interaction with someone who was angry at her. Imagine.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she made this like statement. Yeah. And in the statement, it said, blah, 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 online hate stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And the thing is, also with Trudeau getting hate and protests, that leads right into Bill C-36.
Yes, that's exactly 100.
And they're building the case for it.
Yep. 100. Michelle's activated. There's a bunch of high profile like bureau chiefs and top editors and stuff of the old school newspapers and stuff. They're all on board with various levels of exactly the same thing, like the censorship, all of it. And if you don't get on board, they're just going to clear the decks of you. They'll get rid of you. And it is very coordinated.
Wow. For those who don't know, Bill C-36 would essentially be like the nail in the coffin for free speech in Canada and really for the country, because it would make criticizing those in power. It would give them so many capabilities to systematically silence, censor, fine, and potentially jail or put you on house arrest. People they don't like. Like, it would quite literally give them the ability to silence and censor anyone they wanted, whenever they wanted. And just like the way big tech does it, it would be like this very sort of like broad reasoning of like, oh no, we're going to call that hate today. Yeah. Like, really, me criticizing immigration policy? Yeah. Actually, you have to pay us $17,000 because this random person who's anonymous was offended. Yeah.
And you don't get to know who your accuser is. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. Do you remember the time that Catherine McKenna ate dogs? Puppy mill.
I do. It's been a while since I saw that clip, but of course.
Well, classic. Laura Nash is making a comparison with conservatives ban puppy mills, liberals eat dog meat. I thought that was funny. I thought it was a good comparison. I was like, yeah. I mean,
dog meat or jag meat? Oh, sorry.
Ooh. But I wish I had like a rim shot. Buying ads on Facebook or Twitter. I'd said in during the Faith Goldie run for mayor and during the Maxime Bernier run for prime minister, 2019, that Goldie was denied ads on Bell Media. Bernier was denied ads on Google, I believe, and on other various platforms. They screwed around with them. They'd take his money and then it wouldn't run. And other ads were pulled down.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that with Bernier and Google.
I don't know which platform it was, but I mean, how many PPC ads do you see running? Like even down ticket ads, like as a PPC EDA, try and run, like how many of those ads do you see? But if you're on Facebook, do you see liberal ads and conservative ads and other ads like that, right? So that's what I'm trying to. I don't think that Bernier was involved in the Facebook ad buys, but I think that probably at different levels, different people were being identified by the AI and blacklisted, right? So here's Kevin Dupuis, he's a PPC candidate. He says, Facebook rejects all of my PPC advertising. I can't boost a simple post. Twitter isn't any better. Do you see how quickly you could lose your free speech? I've lost mine. The canceling of YouTube channels, they've done an end run, they being big tech and the government. Big tech built the product of being able to identify and silence specific people, dissidents, or whoever the government would be interested in silencing. And then they sold that capability to them. And the government's now coming back and basically saying, legislating, we own that capability and we're going to tell you how to use it. So it's a de facto destruction of free speech without doing anything through laws, but having the government and corporations in a partnership, I guess. So the government entrenching. I mean, like, isn't that a racket? Isn't that a racket? I don't know if it qualifies.
Well, yeah, I mean, and us conspiracy theorists, we're like, hey, all these people are in bed together. They seem to have the same politics. They seem to be aligned with UN agenda items, and they seem to systematically ban and silence certain people. It's already happening, like you said. Just to add to the pile, Mark Emery is running as a PPC candidate. Kind of an iconic Canadian, like this guy's kind of well known as being an advocate for the legalization of marijuana before it was cool. By the way, way before it was cool.
He was a martyr. He went to jail for what he believed. Yeah, I saw just to quickly. I saw a picture. I saw a post where somebody said, "I'm here with Mark Emery for his 150th signature to get on the ballot," and Emery said to the person, like, "Oh, we should celebrate." She's like, "I've got a joint right here, and that's because you did this for us." And I was like, man, like, that's why I like the PPC, because those candidates like Mark Emery and Viva Frei and Maxime Bernier too, and like, who knows the truth of these things, of this world, right? I can't, but these people are inspiring to me. I think that they've done a good job. And like, even Chelsea Hillier, I think she's done a great job getting people out. Like, there's a lot of enthusiasm around a lot of really good campaigns. Last time, Frank Vaughan, Kelly, like your parodies, man, like there were some great things that came out of that. And I think like the PPC has some of the best candidates across, like, bar none, like, but we end up in the same position. And it's like,
there was definitely a big lull in between 2019 and now. And, we could talk all day about how the party could have improved, but I am feeling that same sort of like optimism from 2019, where all of these, just like 2019, you were at the convention, that's where we met.
Yeah.
And there was this maybe it was a little bit naive, but there was this very like awesome energy of people being involved in politics for the first time. And what's the word there? Oh yeah, giving a crap. A lot of Canadians who actually care. Yeah. Their hearts are in the right place, and that's like a really warm, awesome feeling. And I'm feeling it again now for this election, and I'm hoping that I'm excited for this election, because I'm hoping and praying, and I believe that there is a number of Canadians, a significant number, that are actually paying attention for the first time ever, and I mean, like, they're actually following top politics in their own country for the first time ever. Indeed. And that's a big difference. And I hope they come out in numbers, and I'm hoping it foils the plans of the Trudeau camp, who thought, oh, look at all these numbers. Look at all these people who have voted before. We definitely got this in the bag. Yeah. But what they didn't account for is a lot more Canadians actually paying attention now. That's what I'm hoping for. But
yeah,
either way, I'm excited to see what the numbers are. Hopefully it's not rigged.
It can't be rigged everywhere. That's the thing I keep telling myself. They can't rig it everywhere. Anyway, regardless,
Yeah.
let's move into threats by the premiers of the provinces. How about vaccinations and direct threats? Direct threats if you're unvaccinated. If you dare to not comply with these people, they're going to make things very uncomfortable, like the back of a Volkswagen Beetle. Did Premier Higgs use his authority to threaten me, to force me to an assault against my will, contrary to Section 265 of the Criminal Code of Canada? To those of you that have not gotten vaccinated, we're going to make you want to be vaccinated. Scott Moe did the same thing. Premier Moe issued a warning to residents of the province who aren't vaccinated against COVID-19. Unvaccinated will find things more uncomfortable. Right? So,
so this is a really funny fake tweets. Mark's showing me fake tweets that aren't real because this didn't happen. I don't believe it. That's way too absurd. That's crazy. No way this is real.
Here's the mayor of Ottawa on Mayor of Ottawa letterhead sent by the blue check mark tweet of the mayor of Ottawa. This has
to be fake. This can't be real.
And he says, quote, hold on, let me see what he says. Allowing those, quote, allowing those who have chosen to remain unvaccinated to go about their daily lives with little to no consequences for their decision cannot be an option. Governments across Canada and around the world are choosing to enact proof of vaccination programs as an incentive for everyone who wants to return to normalcy to get vaccinated. So it's real. It's
crazy.
I'm sorry, my friend, it is real. They do not want the unvaccinated to have no consequences.
The escalation of things is so overwhelming. Like the way that things have, we would never mandate vaccines. There will be consequences. You know, like Trudeau, there will be consequences. Everyone's talking about consequences.
I've got a jug meat.
Literally threats, literal threats to everyone.
Okay, hold on.
This is
you want
like
you want to hear
the pale.
Do you want to hear jug meat threaten you?
Yes, please.
Let's have it, jug meat.
Jug meat threaten me.
This is the leader of the NDP. Okay, he's talking. Well, we'll watch the whole clip. I'll rephrase at the end. There you go. Maybe here we go. Oh, I hope this is on the Zoom call. I don't know if the audio for this is on the Zoom call. I'm not sure, and it's taking a minute. This is frustrating that it's not reloading. Okay, well,
let's just say the quote here.
Okay, go ahead.
He says, "We absolutely believe that there needs to be mandatory vaccines, and there would be consequences for those who are not able to or not willing to do that." He sounds so polite, though. You know what I mean? He's got a pink turban on, and he's sounding polite. And forced vaccinations. That's really violent language, Mark. I think we need to soften it up. And it's just like severely recommended, or else you're going to be locked up.
Did you ever watch Aladdin? You ever watch Aladdin?
Of course.
He looks a little bit like.
Why are you bringing up Aladdin, Mark?
What?
Why are you bringing up Aladdin?
I know for no reason. When he said there will be consequences, I'm pretty sure that a bird named Iago jumped on his shoulder. I don't know, but I can't play the video, so I could be wrong. Who knows? I don't know. Okay.
Mandatory consequences.
Trudeau, Jagmeet, I guess. I don't know. So this is something that I wanted to pick your brain about, and I don't know if I'm crazy. It's probably me. I'm probably wrong. In 2020, last year, when we had no vaccine and nobody could be vaccinated, everybody was like, oh my gosh, COVID's so terrible. We had 122 cases. Okay, August 28th, 2020. August 28th, 2021, we set a new record with 835 cases. So with 90% of people vaccinated in Guelph, right? And like 76% double vaccinated, how is the vaccine helping? To me, if when they said we eradicated polio, I imagined like polio started up here without a vaccine and kind of started up here and then kind of went down, right? Instead, what we're seeing is like, it goes here and then it goes here and then it goes way up. And then does it go down later? Like it's 590% more, 550 or something like that % more year over year, which seems like the opposite of what you would expect a vaccine to do. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm an idiot, right? One more example. Hold on. Here is Nova Scotia, 31 cases on August 30th. On August 30th, 2020, there were 0 cases, but 5 cases on the island. Does it make sense that cases would rise like that? I don't know what 0 to 31, what the percentages or anything like that, but that's like 0 and then 30. Well, that's a big percentage, like 100. Well, Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Mark, can you imagine how bad they would be
Ha.
if people weren't vaccinated?
Sure.
If
I
people
would,
weren't vaccinated,
I would agree.
it'd be even worse, it'd be even higher.
So what about Sweden and Florida and Texas and South Dakota and all the other places that aren't suffering like that? I don't, right? Like it's one of those things. And I was gaslit like crazy. I was like, if you don't understand, you must be stupid. People to me, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm stupid, like, but explain it to me like I'm four then. Like, explain it to me a little, stop with the name calling and like explain it to me how you see this as being a successful vaccine rollout. The vaccine is going to solve this problem by super increasing the cases year over year. Question mark, question mark, question mark, profits for Pfizer, and fuck you. Like, what?
Yeah. I made a quick video about Justin Trudeau because he tweeted a few days ago. He said, we need to keep doing vaccinations to beat this. We need to beat the COVID. And it's like, I just made the simple point. Well, bro, like, we haven't even beaten the flu yet. Like the flu's still around. So you're kind of, not only are you giving people a false hope, you're lying.
And, are you sure he didn't mean beat the unvaccinated? Are you sure like he was not saying
beat them up till they're unconscious.
Get baseball bats and beat the unvaccinated so then we can vaccinate them while they're unconscious?
Well, I mean, it's you guys, for everyone watching, like me and Mark, if you're like us, here's a tip. If you don't do this already, here's a tip. Whenever you read something, especially from Justin Trudeau, just invert the meaning of what he says, and it's actually what he's saying. So it's like, if we want this to be perpetually a problem where it never ends, then get vaccinated. You know what I mean? It's like, in order to beat this, we need to keep getting vaccinated. So it's the opposite. Okay, so in order to never beat this, we need to get vaccinated. Got it. But I was in a conversation, unfortunately, with university students. It could have been random accounts, but anyway, it's a university Facebook page, Queen's University. Students started a petition to resist the vaccine mandate there. And I just said, hey guys, unfortunately, if you look at the stats in Israel, it doesn't really look like it's working that well. By the way, all you jab happy folk creep me out. And then someone's like, well, actually, I went to Queen's and I'm in Israel right now in medicine. And guess what? The vaccine works so well that everyone's doing boosters already and it's looking good. And it's just like, the problem is these people's brains don't work anymore. Like they've been consuming so much fear porn, or like the death weather, how many cases, how many deaths, like, just putting so much useless information into their head over and over again. And it's like that movie Thanos. Reality can be whatever I want, like and people are so fear stricken.
You know what he would do?
Their brain doesn't work anymore. So it's like, the numbers, they don't add up. Why don't people understand the numbers don't add up? Unfortunately, a lot of people are in the matrix. It's a lost cause, and they're just kind of drooling at the mouth saying, well, the mutations. I know that the mRNA vaccine actually creates a spike protein inside of your body, but it's the people who didn't get that who's creating the mutation. Okay.
What if Aaron O'Toole
makes perfect sense.
If Aaron O'Toole were Thanos and he snapped his thumb and finger, what would he do?
In heels, while he's wearing heels?
No puppy mills.
Ban puppy mills. We can do it whenever we want. By the way, I love the transgender community. I'm Aaron O'Toole. I'm fighting to conserve.
That's Michelle. That's Michelle Rumpel. I haven't seen him.
What's the difference? What's the difference, Mark?
Okay, I want to touch on this before we go. There's not a chance in heck that this could ever pass the Oakes test. This is Mayor Watson's letter. There are lawyers who weighed in saying like, no, this wouldn't pass the Oakes test. The mayor's fully admitting that this is a coercive measure, gave us all the ammunition we need for an injunction. The mayor of Ottawa is fully admitting that the purpose of the vaccine is to punish. So there's
what is the Oakes test? Sorry, I don't know.
The Oakes test is vaccine passports are charter violation. It infringes on your basic charter rights, and anything that infringes on your charter rights has to pass the Oakes test in order for it to be a valid infringement. If it doesn't pass the Oakes test, it's not a valid infringement. And so thanks to the mayor of Ottawa.
I think the creepiest thing about all this, obviously, is that health incentive be damned, actual research on the efficacy of this thing be damned. It is 2 weeks to flatten the curve to mandatory vaccines and everyone obeying the government is the only way to like not wear masks anymore. Like people actually believe this.
They do.
People actually believe this. Oh, I'm going to vote Trudeau, so it forces everyone to get vaccinated. So then I don't have to wear a mask.
Yep.
How dumb, how absent-minded
You've
are
got
these
me.
people? And the thing is, my heart cries because I've talked to my parents and I have seen how their minds have changed over the past year and a half. And it's been chipping away. It's been chipping away at their human rational, not even their like rational thought, but just like their very like human spirit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
There's a lot going on, man. A lot going on. Doug Ford's
got to keep talking to sane people.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you can lose it, right? Like you can lose it. Doug Ford is bringing in a vaccine passport apparently for restaurants and gyms. And I mean, if you wanted to kill restaurants and gyms, this would be a great way to do it. Like, holy smoke, right? Like people have been locked in their homes for extended periods of time. And I mean, weird, right? Like this is a strange, not unexpected, but.
He's a booster boy. Doug's a booster boy. He can't wait to get his booster. Look at him.
Kenny
like,
just
guys,
posted.
I'm gonna get a bunch of boosters. I'm gonna get booster shots till I pass out.
I think it's
guys,
funny.
let's order a round of shots here, guys.
The beginning of the beginning of that was a very Cosby-esque, and then it went away from the Cosby. But at the beginning, it was a very like pudding pop. Right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know why. I get it. I miss the Kool-Aid man. Back when commercials were just meant to sell kids sugar, right? To feed the parasites. Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to say this because I think it's a good talking point to kind of smear the Conservative Party a little bit. Aaron O'Toole's going to save us from Trudeau. You think Aaron O'Toole's going to save us from Trudeau? Just imagine Doug Ford being the prime minister.
That was the title of my video today. Aaron O'Toole's going to Doug Ford us. Yeah, he's going to Doug Ford us, man. Like that's it.
Oh, but he's conservative. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, yeah. By the way, what's his face? John Tory.
Yeah. Ontario's open for business. Tory. Sure it is, Doug. Sure it is.
Yeah, right, bud. Yeah, right, bud.
Raging humanist. I forgot his name. I was like, this is Rage.
Raging Dissident is his name.
Oh, that's it. Okay, all right. Well, then I still forgot his name. I'm sorry, Raging Dissident. My bad. Here's an Australian truck blockade. I'm going to be interested to see how they figure this out. On one side, I think that the truckers will have enough people to shut things down for a few days before the police figure out a strategy that will be effective in removing the trucks of the participating truckers. But on the other side of things, like, I'm very worried about the impact of this on the supply lines. And I don't know if it's going to happen in the US and Canada.
Yeah,
I've heard people talking like there's like a sympathetic strike. Like we're going on strike with the Teamsters down at the other, I don't know, the Teamsters, the New York Teamster guys.
Yeah.
So sympathetic strike, I don't know. I don't blame them. I heard France is doing them. I saw a video of France doing them. I don't blame them. I'm just worried that the unintended consequence is going to be it smashes our supply line into a million itty bitty little pieces, and recovery is more complex and takes longer. And the seemingly incompetent leadership wouldn't be able to put it back together.
Causes more chaos.
Well,
more chaos and disarray.
Yeah, if the supply line is destroyed, and then the government says the supply line is destroyed, so we have to take control of the supply line in order to maintain it. How do you say, no, you don't, right? Like, right? And so it's very, very, very scary. And then, you get gas rationing, and then you're trapped. It's not like, oh, we're going on vacation to Florida. Bye.
Is this, can I see this video here? I'm just seeing the back of a truck right now. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. The France one was maybe better. This is a whole bunch of trucks down a city street here. They're blocking like an exchange.
Right.
So there's like a roundabout that they've got blocked, and then going both ways, they've got other trucks, and there's a France one, and there's like cube vans and stuff as well, but it may just be parked. I don't know if it's like,
yeah, so, I think a general rule of thumb, because we do have to be careful for subversive actors who are kind of like, are there to make things worse in a sense. They appear to be a hero, or they appear to be making things better, but it actually might be the event that makes things terribly, terribly worse. an example could be like January 6th, for example, where it's like, oh, you were doing something about it. And it's like, okay, well, now everyone's a terrorist
Yeah, right.
who
Exactly.
has the wrong ideas.
Yeah.
And I think the rule of thumb, well, it's easier said than done because usually it's after the fact when the headlines come out. But the rule of thumb, I think, is what are the headlines saying about it? And I think the Trudeau protest is a great example because it's saying, oh, don't protest against Trudeau. That's bad.
Mhm.
Like, don't do that. That's
Yep.
like, that makes you a bad person. And when it comes to, oh, anti-lockdown protesting, walking around in a circle and doing nothing and not putting any pressure on any of, oh yeah, you're walking around in a circle. Yeah, go do that. Go do your lockdown protest. Don't intimidate any of the politicians who are screwing you over, who have huge, massive salaries of like over 200K, most of them. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
go walk in a circle and piss off regular people. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, right. And so like that's it, right? Like these guys are targeting the whole society. And maybe the whole society needs to be targeted to wake people up enough or something like that. I have a mosquito bite back here. That's why I keep it. But maybe that's required. But why attack the whole society? Why break the whole society's supply chain when it's the politicians who are the ones who are failing to address the actual problems? Puppy mills over free speech at the core of our freedom.
It's crazy how politically illiterate people are. And I don't know if this is a popular term, but that's how I would kind of define a huge part of the problem. BLM, climate, bull, whatever. It always comes down to a bunch of usually not even leftists, but centrists, like, oh yeah, I care about, racism or like violent cops being a-holes or whatever. Like, that's a somewhat valid concern, environmentalism. Okay. But they're politically illiterate. So they just think, okay, this guy has a BLM logo.
Yep.
So he's good.
He's good.
And it's like, that's it. Like that's all and I guess it may be political apathy is maybe a better definition of the term.
No,
but even when people do follow it, they kind of have this illiteracy where it's like, you realize there's actual actions and legislative changes and even when there is a organization that sends money somewhere, like we need to look into if that money is actually being spent properly. Like there's a lot
oversight
going on.
Whoa, how can we possibly audit that? Holy smokeroni. No, they were like oversight. The problem is though, like when you start talking about holding people accountable, then
when you start talking about people caring, they can't watch the hockey game anymore.
Yeah, well,
sorry, I have to watch my hockey game. So
yeah, I don't know that it's that. I think that it's another aspect to this is I've talked about this before. I think you and I've talked about this before, but the weaponization of talking about politics, right? Like you read the article that says Trudeau's the people protesting Trudeau are alt-right, anti-vaxxer, anti-maskers. And then you think to yourself, like, if I start talking about that, people are going to think that I'm like that. Right. So you self-censor.
Social pressure.
And then you
conditioning.
Like, if you're right. And if you're standing around the water cooler. So the amount of times I make a crack about Trudeau because I'm walking around the grocery store and I see somebody behind a mask and they're looking at me and it's like, I'm going to smile. I'm going to make a joke. I'm going to I'm going to do finger guns. Right. And like the amount of times they laugh about Trudeau or whatever. And before this whole thing, there were grandmothers who were agreeing with me wholeheartedly about Trudeau. Not that they forget that I'm wearing a mask, but it's like, it's a more human interaction and people appreciate that, but they're willing to break then, but they're not willing to stand around the water cooler and be like, man, fuck that guy. I can't stand that jerk. Right. Because that has stakes, right? That means now somebody might say, well, you're an anti-vaxxer. Somebody might fire you even, right? And so like, but just on assumption, based on how you are perceived to politically align, right? And that's scary. That's not like what Canada used to be. That's like the USSR, man.
It's so detestable because it really is a corruption of someone's individual psychology or even sense of self-respect, because it's like these people that you're falling all over yourself or bending over backwards for just to get their approval of, they probably would never do the same for you and have like no respect and nothing but contempt for you. They just want to control you, basically. This person has no respect for you and they just want to control you. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I want to make sure that I suck up to this person who doesn't even like me and will probably never have my back ever. So
how long do you think an employer would pay the salary of a vaccine injured person? Like until they die or 6 months? You know, like, do you think, like, if somebody goes to get a vaccine because they want to keep their Taco Bell job or whatever, right? Like to work on this Taco Bell line, you need to have a vax, right? You are public facing.
Great example.
Right.
Great
and so you go and you get your vax, and then all of a sudden you get a Bell's palsy or something that prevents you. Well, maybe Bell's palsy. You get the shakes, right? What's that? Parkinson's, or whatever. Because did you see all those nurses who were coming out and they had the shakes and they couldn't stop shaking? Did you see that? Those women?
Yep.
So let's say that, right? And you can't go back to
allegedly.
I don't know if it's true, right? But let's pretend.
Yeah.
Right? Let's pretend. And let's say, who knows if you can tie it back to the vaccine directly. Maybe you had Parkinson's already, and just luck, bad timing, bad luck. But would the employer accept any kind of responsibility for that? Like, presumably, had you not had the vaccine, maybe something different would have happened, right? It
depends on the employer, but I have a not firsthand experience, but somewhere I worked in the rumor mill, it was like, oh yeah, this person, they let them go because they're HIV positive and they didn't want to have to pay for like his medication. So that's,
I saw that movie. Tom Hanks starred in that movie. Philadelphia. Bam.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that movie, but
there was a whole movie.
I know of an experience of a workplace I used to work at where that happened, and it was very obvious. Like, I'm not paying for all these HIV medications. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, right. Yep.
That's business. That's safety. That's just science, right? It's just business.
There you go. There you go. COVID theater and election. Self-censorship, right? Self-censoring news articles to silence dissent, and Ottawa mayors who are just, how much power do you think he has?
Yeah.
How much power do you think he thinks he has?
Guys, we're just threatening people now. Okay.
Easy. It's just a little threat. It's for the greater good.
So easy snowflake. Okay. Easy snowflakes. We're just threatening people. God, you guys are so oversensitive. We're just experimenting on your children. You guys are like such reactionaries.
So sensitive. My God. So sensitive. All right. So that was pretty fun. Shall we end the
let's end it there.
End it there.
If you have advice for keeping your sanity, then
put it in the description or put it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
I'm interested.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Greg Wycliffe. I'm also on Instagram at Greg Wycliffe. One word, of course. And then I'm on TikTok and Twitter. Oh, by the way, actually, I've had firsthand experiences. This is going back to Facebook censorship and the election. Mark Emery, I don't know if he got unbanned, but he got banned on Facebook for 30 days, right at the beginning of the campaign. 30 days till the election. I got banned on Facebook for 30 days. And a whole bunch of his old videos, some of which were like a year old, got flagged. But something similar happened to me on TikTok, where I made a few TikToks ripping on Justin Trudeau. One of them climbed to like 100K. Another one was like climbing to 30K and then stopped in its tracks.
Interesting.
And then a bunch of my old videos got flagged. And I got banned from posting for a few days, but it's just like interesting timing.
There's a break point. So if you get like 100 likes with certain AI flagged words, it'll kill it. And so they put in break points. It
makes sense because you see the organic growth, and it's like, oh, this video is doing well, and then just boom, boom, just drops off.
It's the wall.
It's just like, boom.
It is 100% managed and controlled, and it's 100% against the intended purpose of the freedoms that we used to enjoy in this country. And it's atrocious what's happened under Justin Trudeau.
It's just a complicated algorithm, Mark. It's complicated.
You don't need to know what's in it.
It's complicated. Yeah, you don't need to know. You definitely don't need to know. Yeah. Isn't.
What's your name again? Yeah, I'm just gonna tell the AI what your name. Okay, bye. Terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you're banned for life. Oh yeah, no. You're not banned, but no one's gonna ever see what you post ever.
Right. That's it. I was gonna say, like, it'll look like it's working for you, but everybody else will never see you because you're far too popular or whatever. It's terrible. It's real as well. Mm-hmm. So very interesting stuff. Scary developments in this country. Anyway,
stay strong, folks. Stay strong.
Do it. Nice. He almost turned green right there. You wouldn't like me when I'm. All right. You can find me at canadapoly.com, at canadareport.co, and at speakingmoistly.co. And I do a daily show, blah, blah, blah. You probably already know that. And that's the end. I think that's it. That's it. We'll stop it there. Usually we do the speaking moistly, but this is different technology. Like I'll usually do the play it out with the the YouTube
Speaking
video.
moistly.
But I don't know that that's even going to work this time. So maybe next time. We'll see. But anyway,
Keep
we're going to
2
stop it now.
meters apart. Speaking
Speaking
moistly.
moistly. Oh, it's a terrible image.